EA Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League. Coming up, two teams ready to square off. It's the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. With Greg Olsen, I'm Mike Tirico, and out there is Tyler Loop to get us started. Off we go here in Baltimore. And this will work out quite well. He'll get it all the way out to the 30-yard line. Off the play fake. Here's Stroud. He'll be hit as he throws, and that one will wind up incomplete. Could not step into the throw that time. It'll bring up second down. And now the first carry for Joe Mixon. Can he get away? No! He's going to be taken down behind the line.
So everything this defense talks about, Mike, is creating negative plays. It's one of the best run defenses in football. Everything is about suffocating you at the line of scrimmage, make you work for everything you get.
A tough spot here. Third and long. From the gun, here's Stroud. He will let this go. Deep downfield for Dell. And the Ravens are going to get possession here as they force the opening drive turnover. Now, after the interception, we have an injured player to look at. Athletic training staff's going to take a look, but this is a problem late in the season. On play action, here's Jackson. Oh, what a throw. Swinging it across his body and complete. And they're going to be set up in the red zone. They've got it inside the 15. That's the first grab of the game for the man leading the entire league in receptions coming into the weekend. He gets his team a first down. Now it's the Michigan man, Donovan Edwards. A gain of 4 as he's taken down.
Every Toho on the stop. 4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6 at the Texans' 9-yard line.
Here's a 2nd and 6. To throw is Jackson. Look wide. Get this one complete. To the pylon. He's in. Touchdown, Ravens. That touchdown number 30 on the year. One shy of LaDainian Tomlinson's record of 31 touchdowns set back in 2006.
Texans nothing.
Now, after the touchdown, Luke is back out to kick this one away. From the 6, here comes a return. Across the 20, they'll mark him down before the 25-yard line. And that's where the offense will take over. So here's a 1st and 10 now. They'll start from the 24. Stroud going to set up to throw. That's into the hands of Dell. And he's out of bounds up beyond the 40-yard line. Tough to start any drive like that. 18 on the first play. And a first down.
And that's a nice grab for his first catch of the game, Mike. And he's someone that the play caller has told us he wants to get him early touches, get him a feel for the game. Nice job there making that happen.
And he proves tough to bring down. Good running across midfield. Gain of 8 that time.
It's a gain of 8. Brings up second and 2.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's second and 2. They'll go right back to Mixon. And he's not going to get away. They're going to bring him down on the other side of midfield.
The tackle made that
He sniffed that one out from the jump. I mean, once he diagnosed and knew where the ball was going, he got there in a hurry, and he put an end to that play really before it ever got started.
Here's a third down and 4. From the shotgun, C.J. Stroud. And that is incomplete.
I'd say one of the most critical elements of a dynamic offense, Mike, is how efficient are you on third down? Something these teams stress all week. Here's an opportunity to continue to extend this drive. The defense wins this time and brings up fourth down.
And this one's going to be down inside the 20-yard line.
at their own 16-yard line.
No, we changed it. Hey, report. Get on.
Off the play fake. Jackson. He'll get rid of it and complete it. And he will dive into the end zone. 83 yards. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Well, on one sideline, you're ecstatic. You couldn't have dreamed up a better start. 2 drives, 2 long touchdowns. But then across the field, they've got to answer some hard questions. They've got to figure out exactly what they're doing wrong defensively. Because if there's one thing in the NFL, you cannot give up big plays, and you especially can't give up big plays for touchdowns.
This will be returned from the 6. He'll get this past the 20 before he's brought down shy of the 25-yard line.
Quick, right?
They'll begin on the ground, and here's Mixon. And he'll take this up to the 30. Pick up a 5.
The tackle by Clinton Simpson. It's a pickup of 6. Brings up second and 4.
They'll come up now for second down and 4. Throwing from the pistol, Stroud. They try to work the screen with Mixon. And he'll be taken down up at the 40-yard line. Good-looking screenplay there. A gain of 11 and a first down.
It's so early in the game, you have to be careful now as coaches and players that you don't find yourself trailing early and get out of your game plan. There is so much time left. Stick to what you've worked on all week. There's plenty of time to chip away and see if you can make this thing close come the fourth quarter.
And he's down inside the 40-yard line. A gain there of 21. First down for Houston.
A gain of 21 yards. And the Texans first down.
7. Here's 2nd and 8.
Here we go.
Now, Stroud. Open man downfield is Noel. And they'll move this ball way down into the red zone, inside the 20-yard line.
Another Texan.
They get 21 on that one. It's good for a Texans first down.
Texans.
Here we go. Let's go.
On play action. Stroud. That's going to be incomplete. Coverage very stout. That's going to bring us 2nd down.
All things considered, it's actually a pretty good pass. I mean, he puts the ball in a place where only his guy can catch it. But I think he hears those footsteps coming from that nearest defender, and he's not able to secure the catch through contact.
He'll run it, and it's the USC man, Woody Marks. And he's going to be close to the first down. Just a yard short of the line to gain, so that'll bring up 3rd and short yardage. Stroud to throw. Out to his right. That's going to be intercepted in the end zone. Picked off by Jair Alexander. So the two sides going to make that long walk to the other end of the field. 14-0 is our score. We'll be back in Baltimore after this. Back near his goal line, Jackson. A throw downfield, caught by Burton. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a first down.
So every team practices this on both sides of the ball. They call it sudden change. So in this case, the offense takes the field quickly following the defensive takeaway, and now you want to get off to a fast start, generate a quick play, and spark your possession, and it's exactly what they're able to do here, picking up that first down.
He'll get that out to Edwards. He's got room past the 35. And he'll be taken down up past the 40-yard line. Wow, they are moving the ball to start this drive. 21 on that play.
At the 43-yard line.
Couple of first downs already on this drive, and they'll go first down from the 43. Play action now. Jackson. Forced out left. Escaping the danger, throwing and completing. And he'll be taken down, but they are in business inside the 30-yard line. They'll have a first down. It's a gain of 28.
This is clinic tape for any young wide receiver out there watching this guy run routes. He has the defender thinking everything is a go ball. Attack him vertically, and then when you get to your route depth, you stick that foot in the ground, you break in, balls on time, results in a nice first down pickup.
And he'll just get rid of this. Smart play to throw it away, and that'll set up second down.
Nice example there, Mike, of the quarterback just being smart with the ball, understanding it didn't quite develop the way he had intended. Throw that ball out of harm's way, live to play another down.
Jackson going to give this one to Edwards. And he'll get them 5 yards closer, but now third down coming up.
It's a gain of 6. Makes it 3rd and 4.
The shotgun, here's Jackson.
He's in a really nice rhythm here on third down. He appears very comfortable operating out of the gun, and he's able to find his man near the sideline, and he's able to extend this drive.
Space getting tight here, down to the 13-yard line. They work first and 10. From the gun, Jackson. And the Ravens are looking at a first and goal. Takes it all the way down to the 2.
This has been a really good drive so far, but what I really like, Mike, is they're down here in the red zone, and they continue to attack. Now, not quite a touchdown, but with first and goal, this defense certainly has their back against the ropes.
First 2 drives yielded touchdowns. Now they can make it 3-4-3. It is first and goal. And this is not going to work out. It's quite a tough spot to try to run a play like that. It is blown up behind the line.
It almost seemed like the defender was getting the play call sent into his helmet, just like the quarterback, because he knew the play before they even snapped the ball, and that play had no shot.
Flush to his right. That is caught. What a job on the scramble. Touchdown, Baltimore. That is his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon. Loop now for the extra point. It's up and through. And the Ravens will take themselves to a 21-0 lead.
Texans nothing.
Now, after the touchdown, Luke is back out to kick this one away. From the 6, here comes a return. He'll get across the 20, mark him down at 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
On first down, they'll start with Nixon. And a good run there. Get him 5 yards.
So his team finds themselves now in a little bit of a tricky situation here, Mike. If they don't find a way to start sustaining some of these drives and come away with points, all of a sudden you're trailing by double digits in the second half. You become very one-dimensional. You become very pass-happy, and that's certainly not how any team in the NFL wants to play.
And no place to go. He's hit, taken down behind the line.
Well, it's been the case this entire first half. It's been the defense that's really carried the load for this team. Some offensive struggles, but they've done more than their part, coming through again with another big stop for a loss.
We're going to try to pick this up on 3rd and 8. Stroud. And that is incomplete. Zico Collins was the intended receiver there. And now it's 4th down. Here's Tommy Townsend now. And he'll be looking for something better after that poor first punt. But he cannot get away. Great job down there to hold him to a short return. A first down throw for Jackson. That'll be taken in by Edwards. And he's going to be brought down up past the 45. That is catch number 60 for the season. 2 minutes to go here till halftime. We'll come back to Baltimore after this.
DC, ready?
Lamar going to work from the pistol. Now a shot here, deep middle. He's got it. And he's into the end zone yet again. Touchdown, Ravens. Make it 4 touchdowns for him on the afternoon. So that one, his 4th touchdown catch of the game. That is one behind the single game NFL record.
Makes the score Ravens 28, Texans
is back out to kick this one away. This will be returned from the 6. He's across the 20, taken down just shy of the 25.
At their own 24-yard line.
On first down, it's Stroud. Moving to his right, and they're going to track him down. He couldn't find the receiver, and down he goes. Mike Green, he gets in there to record the sack, number 16 now on the season. Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. Dell, the motion man. Throwing on 2nd down. Stroud. That one's incomplete. Good coverage there. Made it uncomfortable for the receiver. Couldn't hang with it, and it brings up 3rd down.
You know, it's hard to speculate, Mike. We sit up here and we try to just interpret and assume what's going on in the minds of the players and the minds of the coaches, but they seem to me to be a little bit rattled. All these negative plays have really started to pile up in the first half. He's got to settle down, have some more efficiency on these early downs, and get his offense into some sort of rhythm. And his passing game continues to come up short these last couple plays. That's 2 consecutive incompletions in a row. Now they're staring 4th down right in the face.
Here's the punter now, as he'll take this a yard or 2 into his own end zone. This will be returned from the other side of midfield.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line.
They'll come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Now it's Jackson. He's going to look for the home run ball. And he can't hang on through the contact. Incomplete. Good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. It'll bring up 2nd down. Jackson looking to throw. He's got his tight end, Mark Andrews. And he's taken down inside the opponent's 35. Now the Ravens use their first timeout. Clock stops with a little under a minute to go in the 2nd quarter.
34-yard line.
On play action, here's Jackson. Look at that. Slinged it across his body and connected. And this takes him into the red zone. He's brought down inside the 20-yard line.
That last completion's going to go a long way towards at least finishing this 2-minute drive, Mike, with some points. You're already in field goal range, so now the idea is continue to work the clock down, take a couple shots at the end zone. You want to get points, ideally a touchdown, but either way, you have the ball last before the end of the 2nd quarter. A bit of a quick hitter here. What you're hoping for, Mike, is that the defense can't react quickly enough because the ball's coming out so hot. But they knew it was coming, and they end up holding them to just a short game.
And that is caught in the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Baltimore. He is having a performance to remember. There is 5 touchdowns for him in this one game.
His kick is good.
And that's his 5th touchdown catch of the game. That ties the NFL single-game mark. Jerry Rice did it in 1990. Kellen Winslow Sr. 1981. Bob Shaw all the way back in 1950. They have company with the 5-touchdown reception game in this one. And he's down at the 23, and that's where the offense will take over. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he is planted backfield. The loss of 3 in his 2nd and 13. One final throw before the break. Now a deep ball here for Collins. That's going to be incomplete. They took a shot on the final play. Prayer not answered. And that is how this first half will come to an end. Very one-sided first half of action. Will we get a turnaround? Let's find out. The third quarter is underway. This returnable from the 4. Now an opening past the 30. A very good field position to start as the return is past the 40.
Their own 43-yard line.
Report! It's hot!
Jackson now to throw on first down. Throwing over the middle. This one is complete. Boom! Wow, out of bounds. Inside the 10. It's first and goal. A big one there to start the second half.
First and goal.
A gain of 48. The RPO. That one is complete. And they'll get him down right around the 5-yard line.
Similar to a tight end, the slot receiver is often considered the safety blanket. He makes all the difficult catches, tends to be a little bit more around the line of scrimmage, and so far today, he's certainly lived up to that reputation.
Jackson now on second down. And he overshot his man out of the end zone. That one's into the end zone.
Well, it's no secret to anybody who follows this league. This is one of the elite playmakers in the entire NFL. So he put one high, thinking his guy would go up there and get it. We've seen him do it so many times before, but just puts a little too much on it and ends up sailing over his head.
Big play coming up. Third and goal. Jackson up top again. This
is a really popular concept on third down. It's good versus man, it's good versus zone. They call it mesh routes or drag routes. They want to create some traffic in the middle of the field and pop the receiver out the backside of the defense. But give credit to the defense. They were ready for it. They rallied to the ball and keeps them short from picking up the first down.
They'll run for it. It's Edwards. And he barrels his way into the end zone. Donovan Edwards. Touchdown, Ravens. So they decide to go for the touchdown, and Greg, they get rewarded on fourth and goal with the 6 points.
Yeah, I think the safe bet there is you settle for the field goal and you're happy coming off the field with points. But not this play caller. He rolls the dice a little bit, but give credit to the offensive line. They created just enough of a lane for this back to take it in for 6.
Now, after the touchdown, Luke is back out to kick this one away. From the 6, here comes a return. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
Here we go.
On first and 10, here's Stroud. That's into the hands of Dell on the right side. And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a first down completion of 7 yards.
The best quarterbacks, Mike, they have an internal clock in their head. How does my protection match up with the rush and the route concept I'm trying to attack downfield? In this case, he's looking downfield, realizes quickly this ball's got to come out, checks it down to his underneath drag, picks up what he can.
And he'll be marked down at the 45-yard line. Just his first catch. They have held him in check so far. That one gives him a first down.
It's a gain of 20. First down, Houston.
Set to go now on first and 10.
All right.
On on the handoff. It's Mixon. And he'll get nothing here. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
1 yard gain brings up 2nd and 9 at the Ravens' 44-yard line.
Ran the money up to a whole nother level. Don't know no better. When I got rich, it got. Don't call me slow since rats on the floor.
From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd and 9.
Ow, beside. Tony.
To throw, it's Stroud. They set up the screen here with Dell. And they'll take this down inside the 45. That's the second time they connect on this drive. This one good for 13 yards.
And up until this point, we haven't seen a lot go their way, but here in the third quarter, they're starting to find some plays. They're starting to get some opportunities. Just got to ask yourself if it's too little, too late.
And that one's not fooling anyone. They were on that screen from the start, and a loss of yards on the play.
We call them safeties because they're usually the last line of defense, but not here. On this play, he's up there at the line of scrimmage attacking the offense, and he takes him down for a negative play.
So they go backwards on first down. Here's 2nd and 13. That's going to be incomplete. Good work by the defender finding his man up. Wouldn't allow the catch. It'll force third down.
And this is really just more of the same that we saw in the first half. They have made it a huge struggle in the passing game. I mean, just no easy completions, no open space. Every single ball has been contested, and they've done a great job all day.
It is 3rd and long. From the shotgun, C.J. Stroud. And that is incomplete contact, but flash. Going to be 4th down. Maybe Fairbairn coming on to try the field goal. This is going to be a 51-yard attempt. Fairbairn's kick is good. And the Texans cut 3 off the lead, but they still face a sizable deficit.
So anytime an offense comes off the field after settling for 3, you always have to take the good with the bad. In order to get down there in field goal range, you had to do something positive to move the ball. But at the same time, how are we going to be able to finish these drives and convert for 6 the next time we get down there?
And he'll work this one past the 25 to right about the 28-yard line. Off the play fake, Jackson flushed to his right. He'll get rid of it and complete it. A big hole. And he is unstoppable. He goes all the way. 71 yards. Touchdown, Baltimore. With that, he joins Gale Sayers and Alvin Kamara, players in the Super Bowl era with 6 touchdowns in a single game. So, yet another celebration, and this one has a little bit of history with it. He has set the NFL record for most receiving touchdowns in a single game. He fields it at the 8. And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. Throwing from the pistol, Stroud. That's caught right side, the tight end Schultz. That's a nice pickup on a first down throw. It's a gain of 8.
Defense does a nice job here initially using zone coverage to take away the middle of the field. That's the most valuable real estate in football. Quarterback gets off his first read, sees some openings to the sideline, and him and his receiver are able to connect. It just seems like every time this guy touches the ball, he makes something happen, and not all of his runs are always going to be positive. He's kind 0, a 1, a 2. But it's the home run threat. It's the big plays that really tip the scales in your favor. And when you can generate those big explosive plays on the ground, man, it makes such a big difference for the offense.
They got there in a hurry, didn't they, Mike? I mean, luckily for him, he saw that free rusher coming, and at the very least was able to get that ball out to prevent the sack.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. They will work the middle with Mixon. And the struggles in the running game continue. They take him down behind the line.
And they've really done a nice job defensively holding them in check. I mean, ideally, you'd want your back to average around 4 yards a pop, but they're falling short of that threshold as of now, and partially it's why they find themselves trailing at this stage in the game.
And this ball incomplete on 3rd down.
We had a chance to sit down with the defensive coaches the other day, and we asked them, give us a few key points for today's game. And the first thing out of their mouth, Mike, what was it? It was, we got to get off the field on 3rd down. Well, here we are in the second half, and they've done just that. Right now, this offense has no answers on 3rd down.
Looks like he may have had a seam for a moment. He's taken down after a solid return. From the 35, it's 1st and 10.
180. What? 180. Ready, shot. Shot.
Play action now. Jackson. That's to the right side. He's got Andrews. That's a nice pickup on a 1st down throw. It's a gain of 8.
This is a great example of why teams want to stay out of what they call passing downs, where a defense doesn't have to honor the run. In this case, they do, and man, the play-action pass just works off of that and can really lead to some chunk plays.
And he's taken down inside the opponent's 35.
It's a gain of 22 yards. And the Baltimore 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
So we are through 3. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL on EA Sports. They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for 1st and 10.
180. Alpha. Shot.
Off the play fake. He'll look to throw. That one incomplete. The defender right there to make the play. And it's 2nd down.
And they got the look they were hoping for, one-on-one on the outside. He's just unable to hold on to it through contact, and I think that was a big opportunity missed.
To the air one more time with Jackson. Who else? Another catch for his favorite target. And he'll be out of bounds. Down at the 20. His 11th grab of the game. And a 1st down.
And that throw just seems like the cherry on top of what has been an incredible day for this quarterback. And I wouldn't be surprised here late if we get to see the backup after this drive. And there's one guy in the stadium that has earned the right to stand on the sideline and relax. It's this quarterback.
180.
Again, it's Jackson. Here's a short one caught by Andrews. And he's into the end zone. They are pouring it on. Mark Andrews. Touchdown, Baltimore. His 4th TD grab of the season. We might need a calculator before this one is done. It has been one-sided, and the route rolls on, Greg.
Absolutely, Mike, and they just keep piling on the points. I mean, this offensive play caller, he's saying it's never enough. I'm going to try to score with every possession, and we've seen him do that all game long.
makes the score. Ravens 55, Texans 3. Tyler Loop
Now,
to kick
after the
off for
touchdown,
Baltimore.
Loop is back out to kick this one away. This will be returned from the 6. Across the 20, they'll mark him down before the 25-yard line. That's where the offense will take over.
24-yard line.
All right.
Stroud to throw here on first down. A throw right side, pulled in by Noel. And he's going to get this to the 37-yard line. His 50th reception on the season, and he's got a first down to go with it. Line of scrimmage is the 37-yard line for first and 10. Laying out, and he made the catch. What a play. 2 straight hookups. This one's good for 10 yards.
So, Mike, you look back at the quarterback and you see that this ball is coming out of his hand and it's going to be low. And the decision's made. You've got to go down to the ground to secure the...
Oh, he's going to be followed up and taken down. They got him.
The defensive coaches, they preached all week, Mike. They have to have relentless pursuit of this quarterback when he tries to extend the play. So often it results in a great play for the offense and a big pickup. This time, because of that pursuit, it leads to a big loss.
Here we go.
On the give, this is Mixon. Well, they'll get some of the sack yardage back, but it's still going to leave them with third down.
This is one of those plays where you got to give them some love after. Let them know it was an outstanding run and all that. Because even though it was a good effort, it's hard not to feel disappointed, Mike, that they somehow weren't able to move the chains.
Third and 9.
Here we go.
Back to throw, Stroud. That one caught by Tank Dell. And a good short tackle right there. It stops him a good distance short of the marker. It sets up fourth down.
And it seems like he just cut that route a little too short. He's got to get more depth on the initial stem. And that way he makes sure when he catches the ball, it's beyond the sticks.
The offense staying out there for this fourth down. From the gun, here's Stroud. And for a third time today, he's intercepted. Picked off by Jacob Parrish. And he is going to score. A pick 6 for the touchdown. So they make the decision on fourth down to try to go for it. Instead, it goes back the other way for a pick 6.
Yeah, and anytime you go for it on fourth down, you're saying, hey, we don't mind rolling the dice and taking some chances. In this case, it backfires. The defense is able to capitalize, and they take it all the way back the other way.
This one taken at the 7. And a decent return there. He'll get this up just shy of the 30.
Their own 29-yard line.
Here we go. Let's go.
On the handoff, running left, it's Mixon. And he's trying to get around the corner, but will not. Brought down. That's a loss on the play.
Just feels like this has been the story of the day for this offense. Just unable to get anything going on the ground. And a big reason they find themselves trailing and another loss of yards.
All right. 118. That's right.
On second down, Stroud. That'll be taken in by Mixon. And he'll be very close to a first down. Won't quite have enough. But now a much more advantageous start.
They may not have moved the chains, but with what they were dealing with there on second down, that's a really nice
pickup because now it opens up your play call sheet on third down where it's a little bit more manageable.
That one too far out in front. It is incomplete. Tank Dell was the one he was looking for. And it's going to be fourth down.
I think he predetermined that third down throw, and even though the coverage was tight, he still tried to fit the ball in there anyway, and it ended up falling incomplete. I think if he goes through his progressions and has a little bit more trust in his protection, I think there's an easier throw to make out there.
He's going to have a Texans first down. They find a way to keep the drive going with the fourth down conversion.
This play should always end up converting a fourth down, especially at this distance. But you can't tell me there weren't some nerves on that sideline as they sent that play in to snap it. But fortunately, nothing to worry about. The offense gets it done.
And their woes in the running game continue. He's going to be taken down behind the line.
A little surprising to see them keep the ball on the ground, especially given the situation, Mike. I mean, you're trailing. You haven't had a lot of success running the ball up until this point. They need chunk plays. They need to score, and they need to score fast.
All right.
A second down throw for Stroud. And unable to connect this. It's incomplete.
This is one of those situations that plays directly into the hands of the defense because they know this offense has to be one-dimensional. This has to be a pass. So what do? They bring in extra defensive backs. They clog up the back end. And at the end of the day, there's just nowhere for the offense to go with the ball.
Third and long. Stroud going to set up the throw. That's over the middle and caught by Dell. And a good job here defensively. They did not let him get away. He's well short of the first down marker. The offense not coming off the field, and here's fourth down. Here's Stroud. He's hit after the catch, and the ball comes free. And it will be another turnover as this defense does it again.
This one's going to be tough to stomach. I mean, all he has to do is just hold on to the ball, and they've got a fresh set of downs. He was past the yard to gain, but unfortunately, even though they gave up the first down initially, the defense was determined to get off the field one way or another, and they found a way to do just that.
Hey, middle.
They'll run to begin this drive. It's Edwards. He'll be taken down after a gain of 2.
He does a nice job coming from his safety position, filling his run gap assignment, and keeps this to a modest gain at best.
Second down, they need 7.
180. Get hot. 180.
Throwing Jackson. There's that man again. Another catch. And he'll be brought down after that big game, but the marker is down. This one probably coming back. From the gun, give to Edwards. That's a good game there. It's going to wind up just a couple of yards shy of that first down.
So when you're evaluating the impact of a team's run game, I think it's important at the end of the game to look back and say, okay, how many yards did they run for? But more importantly, when did those yards come? Did I run for those yards in the fourth quarter, which typically means I had the lead? That's the sign of a successful run game, as opposed to getting a lot of meaningless yards early in the game. And it looked at first like that opening was going to close up on him, didn't it, Mike? I mean, really nice job there by the back. Patient and quickness, kind of all at the same time to find that hole, and he's able to get through to keep this drive alive.
Here's first and 10. They'll go back to Edwards on first down. And he'll be brought down there, and that'll put a wrap on this one. Time has expired in this fourth quarter.